their uncles, their dads, their sons, their husbands. They're worried. And I think it is important that we also try and protect them by giving the right advice, but also highlighting issues that are there. But back to the to the corruption issue. I think what I agree with what Boyd is saying. You see, most of these corruption cases, some of them even take longer in court. They take so long, and by the time they are heard and determined, people had forgotten about them, and a new case. But let me tell you, when people are appointed into public office, there's a question that the parliamentarian asks, what is your worth? And you see people flaunting figures, 400 million, 5 billion, 300 million. But
in this latest regime, we saw billions.
We saw billions. So we strongly believe that actually they are worth that. But that might not be the case. People do that in anticipation that should they steal, then they actually gave the right figure. And therefore, there is no issue for suspicion. I'm not saying they are doing that, but I'm saying somebody would easily say, I'm worth 400 million, so that when I get into office, I steal to the extent of 400 million, and therefore I cannot be questioned. So those wealth declaration forms are nothing. What we must do
is verify those information.
Verify the information, and that's the suitability you're talking about. Number two, when these people get into office, there is a report that is given by the Auditor General in their departments and ministries. That report must be the first piece of evidence that ODPP should use to prosecute these people. Because the Constitution tells us that the audit report shall ascertain whether the public funds were used legally and efficiently.
Brilliant.
For the right purpose.
For the right purpose.
Yes.
So let's get into the closing remarks. 30 seconds to each of you, and I begin with you, Boyd, and I'll end with Fred. What would you like to see, and how is the state of the nation so far? Are we cruising nicely?
Well, the state of the nation is good. I strongly believe in the leadership of His Excellency the President, and I only encourage Kenyans that we should rise up and do the right thing. I think the issue of our economy is now sorted. There was a concern around Eurobond, which was to be defaulted, but now that is water under the bridge. We've sorted the politics of the country. So we are now on a trajectory of growth economically, and we are able to have a conversation with Azimio and move the country forward. So I expect that Kenyans would be optimistic enough, and we move forward as a country. We fix the things which are wrong in this country jointly. Because I think it is also in the interest of Azimio, though they are aspiring to leadership, they would want to lead a better country. They would want to find Kenya a better place than how we found it from the last regime.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Boyd.
Let me pick from where you left. For sure, we would want a better country. This is our country. We would not want to see this regime fail, because if it fails, we all fail. However, the state of the nation is the state of the people. The state of the people shows us today that the cost of living is still high because of the issue of cost of fuel, the cost of energy, the cost of education. We are told today that the government has not remitted the capitation that they collected from the e-citizen, for example. The schools are suffering. We want to ask the regime of the day, while we criticize you, we shall criticize you constructively. We shall support you where we can, but we shall also highlight issues of concern to the people that you should fix and give alternative. That is the constructive criticism. So we welcome that debate, but we want to ask the government of the day, please lower the cost of living. The mamamboga, boda boda, mkokoteni, that you promised good life, today are all suffering. You must now be human enough to realize that the state of the nation is the state of the Kenyan people. That state is in very bad state.
Absolutely. And that's why we wind it up right here. We thank you so much for your feedback.